Alright, today we're going to be getting into a sports needs analysis, training style, warm up, all kinds of things for a triple jump athlete. So we'll begin with a sports analysis. It is a multi-event power sport, or multi-effort powered sport, sorry. Main energy system is going to be the phosphagen system, due to the really short duration of exertion, followed by a long time frame between attempts, going down like the flight of track athletes. Requires lots of explosive power through the lower extremities, particularly in the sagittal plane, through hopping, jumping, and the step phase, as well as sprinting mechanics, high velocity sprints, acceleration for the approach phase of the triple jump event, as well as it also requires dynamic balance and coordination. Each jump, each phase of the triple jump only has 1 foot on the ground, alternating between hops or steps. And then it also requires some core stability because of that alternating base of support. Okay, for our dynamic warm-up, we're going to get started with raising body temperature, heart rate, blood flow, by doing a light 5-minute jog or a very, very slow lap around the track, depending on where we're training for the day. We'll get into some activating mobilizing phase, so that will consist of sweeping the floor, a walk and quad stretch, opening, closing the gate, zombie walks, lunges with a twist, and the world's greatest stretch. These are all going to be great for hitting the full range of motion of the lower extremities, as well as also torso and trunk rotation and control. And then we'll get into the potentiation phase with some high knees, A skips, B skips, sprints, some power skips focused on height, and then some pogo hops focused on reps over distance. And then we'll get into broad jumps, alternating bounds, and power skips for distance. All of these are slightly getting more and more sport specific with each drill and exercise, starting with some more just general sprinting mechanics, and then farther along we go, we get more into the jumping phases of the triple jump. For our fitness assessment battery, I would start out with a sit and reach test, the least fatiguing, most safest test we're doing, prior for flexibility of the posterior chain, specifically in the land of a triple jump, like in the sand. The athlete is typically folded forward, so having that good flexibility there ensures a proper landing. Then we'd go into an overhead squat, which is more assessing balance and mobility. These are important for having control in the weight room when lifting and when performing. And then the balance component is important for the required alternating base of support for each step and phase of the lift, or not the lift, the event. And then I'd go into vertical jump, for some vertical power, broad jumps for horizontal power. Both are important for a long jump. You need to jump long, but you also need height to travel that length and distance. And then I'd end it out with some speed tests. So a 30-meter sprint, I think that's a appropriate distance. Typically the runway for a triple jump athlete is around 30 to 45 meters. So for our resistance training workout, the upper body lift I would opt for would be a pull-up or a pull-down. depending on the experience and strength of the lifter. This obviously develops pulling strength, which is very important in arm swing when running, with proper running mechanics. Lower body, I would go for some walking lunges. It is very sport specific, strength based wise. The unilateral strength and stability for each leg. Each leg is used in the triple jump. Each phase is alternating each one. And then for my core or trunk exercise, I would opt for back extensions to strengthen the posterior chain. The erector spinae are important for keeping proper posture when running. So once you get up to speed, you need to maintain that posture and stay at that speed. And it's important to have strong erectors to maintain that posture, not letting the pelvis drop with each step. Alright, for the SAQ, I'm going for some wall drills, shown on the picture on the right. This gentleman has his hands leaned against a wall, and he's driving his feet into the ground. This enforces proper running mechanics with a forward lean for acceleration, maintaining that body angle until you get to your max velocity, which is what the flying sprints are for. Those start out as a light jog, and then the athlete builds up to their max velocity, their max speed, where they then straighten up their posture and maintain that speed for 10 to 20 meters. This is great for training controlled acceleration, max speed, and staying relaxed while at that max speed with that proper posture. Okay, so for the plyometric workout, lower body, we'll be going with bounds. They're just alternating very large jumps. This is very, very sport specific. Each hop, step, and jump phase is primarily horizontal force production with the stretch shortening cycle. So with each land of each bound, there is a amortization phase of each rep, and then after that is a strong contraction from the athlete to propel themselves forwards into the next one. This trains absorption of force and then transfer into another jump. And then for the upper body, we're going with reverse med ball throws. These are important for training triple extension at the ankle, hip, and knee. It also improves the rate of force development, especially in the posterior chain, as well as teaching the athlete to coordinate upper body and lower body movements at the same time. Okay, for our weightlifting workout, we're going with the clean and we're going with the push press. For the clean, it improves, it's mainly for lower body explosive power. It again trains that triple extension of the ankles, knees, and the hips. It also is good for that neuromuscular coordination of incorporating the lower body and the upper body generally at the same time to be able to bring yourself underneath the barbell. For the push press, similar idea, explosive upper body strength and lower body strength, focusing on that triple extension that you can see here at the ankles, knees, and feet, or hips, sorry. This more so is about timing and coordination of the upper and lower body, being able to use them together rather than separating them. This is important for proper running mechanics, for the arm swing, and the sprint and jump phases of the triple jump. And you can see the not power position, the dribble extension of both of these lifts are very close to the push-off phase of each jump in a triple jump activity. And there are my references. And thank you for watching.